right, so on your reference material, you have these three formulas to help you with slope. The slope-intercept form, y is equal to mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. And then direct variation, where k is that constant of proportionality. Slope of the line, we use the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, so to find the slope of the line given these 2 points, we're going to use this equation right here. So we're going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We're going to label our points, and then we're just going to put these where they go. So we have negative 4, minus 4, and 7, minus 3. And then negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8. And 7 minus 3 is 4. And this simplifies to be negative 2. All right, on number 2, we want to find the rate of change in the y-intercept. So on this graph, we're going to find our 2 perfect points. Here's a good one, and here's a good one. Doesn't really matter, just as long as they're perfect points. Make your triangle. Our rate of change is our rise over run. So we're going up 1 and over 2, and this is a positive slope. So my rate of change is 1/2. My y-intercept is where this line crosses the y-axis, which is right here, and that's at 1 to negative 3. So my y-intercept is negative 3. All right, find the points of, find the slope of these given points, and this is where you're going to use your y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we're just going to plug our points in, and remember that those minus signs are just part of the equation. So I have 8 minus a negative 2, those are my y's, and 7 minus a negative 7, those are my x's. Y always goes on top. So minus a negative makes plus, so 8 plus 2 is 10, and 7 plus 7 is 14, and that simplifies to be 5/7, which is C. Okay, on number 4 here, which of the following best represents the graph of a line with a slope of negative 2/3 and a y-intercept of negative 1? I like to find the y-intercept first because it's easier. So I'm looking for a y-intercept of negative 1. A has that, B has that, C has a positive 1, so we can get rid of C, and D has that. So then I look to see which ones are negative. A is sloping down, B is sloping down, D is sloping up, so it can't be D. All right, so then I'm just going to pick some perfect points. So it looks like right there at my y-intercept, and right there is a good point. So I am rising 2 and running 3, and that's negative, and this is exactly what I'm looking for. On this graph here, looks like we're going to be rising 1, 2, 3, and running 2. That's upside down, so my answer to number 4 is going to be A. Okay, 5, this is 3 questions. Which graph has a slope of negative 1/2? Well, here's negative, here's positive, positive, and negative. So it's either A or D. And the less steep it is, it's a fraction, and the more steep it is, it's a whole number. So if I look over here and get some perfect points, and make my triangle, this is sloping up 1 and over 2. So A is going to have my slope of negative 1/2. My next question, which graph has a y-intercept of negative 1? Well, this is going to be positive, this is positive, this is negative 1. So that would be C. And the last one, which has a y-intercept of 5? So this is going to need to be above the x-axis. So that's going to be B or D. This is going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So D is going to have that y-intercept of 5.